there. I think we're ready to roll. So. There we go. Put this in the right spot. Maybe else zoomed in. We are continuing with morning studies. So, there's a couple pages left out of this book. Well, 3 pages. So a few pages, I guess. 2-point-something pages. Got a bunch of these Ironcilosauruses to draw from the book here I'm looking at, which is Terryl Whitlatch's Science of Creature Design. So, I'm guessing 3 or 4 more days. So that's what we got going on this morning. Alright, we got that coming out over there, and that over there, and there we go. Let's get a bunch of these kind of roughed in, and then we'll ink them up. That'll be the plan for this morning for about an hour. Good morning. Good morning. People popping in. My dog took off to go get a drink or something. And he's trying to anticipate his human's behavior this week because we're back to school, and so everything's been thrown out the window. Alright, there's that one. So next up is this guy over here. Good morning, people popping in. Good morning. Oh, good. What are you going to be sketching this morning? Let's see. Maybe start down here with the next one. So these are so a couple years ago. I decided to start kind of learning more from the books that I own. So this is coming from Terryl Whitlatch's Science of Creature Design. And she just does them in pencil, but I'm kind of roughing them out and then inking them to kind of get that extra practice in. But I want to start taking advantage of these different books and kind of see what the authors have to say, not only verbally, but visually by drawing what they've drawn in their books. And so so that's what I'm working on here. This is coming up to actually the finish of this book, and been thinking about what I'm going to be doing next, which I might start doing some figure reference, some anatomical analysis, and continue with the ink studies, of course. Here, like the tail's going to go off page a little bit. That's all right. Yeah, so I've been sketching from this book. I actually started this one back in September. I've probably gotten everything I can get from it, but I'm just a couple pages out from being done, and this sketchbook's almost filled out. Just got a few pages left. Hello, Bosch, you back? Or you just plopped over there on the floor, huh? Cooling off? Sorry, I was just talking to my dog. He jumped out of his bed and flopped on the floor, I guess to cool off a little bit. Yeah, so but it's been really helpful kind of going through this. And I've done a bunch of other books too the last few years when I kind of started this, and then really been back focusing on it the last year and a half, 2 years, something like that. So I've gone through a bunch of books. Not all of them I've done on live stream, and I was actually spending a lot more time on them, but decided to kind of limit that to get other things done. Yeah, so that's what I got going on. So that's for the end of the book. She's kind of got a series where she mixes dinosaurs with Marvel superheroes. So she had Thorosaurus on the previous page, which is kind of what you see up here, and then now she's got Ironkilosaurus, which I think some of her names are a little bit awkward, but you know, I'm not too upset about it. Yeah, so it's kind of a warm-up thing. It's also just an opportunity for me to, you know, try to learn some new things. You know, take advantage again of all the books I've acquired over the years. And so you know, I have a bunch of different, you know, anatomy books and figure drawing books and perspective and composition and all these other things. And you know, you kind of buy art books and then you just kind of put them on your shelf after you look at them for a while. And I was kind of looking at, you know, one of the things I've been telling students to do, you know, one way is kind of learning on their own is, you know, take the books and copy the drawings while reading the text, and you know, that can be a really great way of kind of getting into the mind of another artist. And I've sort of done that actually with like real paintings. Like my grad school at New York Academy, they have a copyist program where they go to the Met Museum of Art and copy paintings that are up on the wall. And so I did like a couple of Rembrandts, a Peter de Hoogh, Manet and Velasquez, Rubens, and it's really a beneficial experience to do that. I think copywork doesn't really get emphasized enough in art school as a method for study, and so I think it can be really helpful to kind of just sketch the things that you find that you like, and kind of add that to your ability. And it's something a lot of people do kind of by default anyway. So like, when you're a kid or whatever, you copy drawings that you really like, and you actually learn a lot doing that. But it often gets kind of discouraged because people think that everything you do has to be original. And like me doing this, this wouldn't be anything I would count as something that I would put in my portfolio, for example, right? But it's there as a way for me to kind of pay attention to someone who's really great, see what they have to say, not only verbally but visually, and take measures. So like Terryl Whitlatch as an example, she's been a big shot creature designer, character designer in film for decades now, working on things like Avatar, and she's most famous for her Star Wars prequel stuff that she did. But she's been a high impact person. Part of it has to do with her expertise with real animal anatomy, because of her background in I forget which particular degree, but something related to animal biology. And so she she has these 3 books on creature design. I've got 2 of them. Apparently she's got a 4th one in the works. But she has these 3 books, and so I've got 2 of them. I should probably pick up the 3rd one, but I figured I would take at least one of them and kind of go through it and sketch out the drawing, see what she has to say. She doesn't have a lot of verbal explanations in here. It's more kind of her studies of anatomy of real animals, applying that to made-up animals and creatures, and then sketching them out. Now I've also just trying to learn some technique-y things related to inking in general, and so she doesn't ink her drawings at all, as far as I can tell. They're mostly pencil drawings that she either scans in and colors in Photoshop, or photocopies and colors with marker. And so so I'm not following that particular method, mostly just looking at how she structures things and why she builds things out the way she does. But alright, what can we squeeze in here before we go on to the next page? Or before I start inking these up, rather. This one might fit. Yeah, so she's a really great resource for kind of understanding how things are structured. Like she'll build the whole musculature and skeletal structure for made up creatures, and all of that. So she has a deeper understanding of them, which I don't know. It's always necessary for every kind of project, but certainly can add a lot of depth to what's going on. And if they're trying to build a more naturalistic world rather than a cartoony one, like say an Avatar, which I haven't seen the second movie. Don't see much of a reason to watch it, but it's worth seeing what she has to say. So see. Is there anyone I could squeeze in? We'll just finish that off here. We'll ink these up and then get on to the next page. That's the diluted stuff there, which is fine. But not what I wanted to grab out. I'm playing around with these calligraphy pens to kind of see what I can play with here. Get some nice kind of calligraphic effects out of this calligraphy nib. Good morning, everybody. Pop it in. Good morning. I like playing with this pen. Doesn't get you the most precise strokes all the time, but it's kind of nice for pulling, especially like long, straight gestural lines. I guess it can get kind of a nice blocky effect, I guess. And I'll come back in detail with the hunt a bit. Well, there you go. Hopefully it works out good, right? Make sure you test drive it first, right? Knock the engine around a couple times. Kick the tires, as it were. Oh, you fit up. Good morning. Everybody popping in. About 30 minutes in, I think. I see. Well, it's all, I always say it's a good test drive. Hopefully a good warranty. At the very least, right? Yeah, maybe. We'll see, right? My fursona? Oh, no. Someone was asking if this is my fursona. No, I'm sketching from Terryl Whitlatch's Science of Creature Design. So it's kind of a morning warm up I do for about an hour in the morning, where I have some kind of study project I'm working on. To kind of get me going in the morning. So I've been actually sketching from this book since early September, but it's got a couple pages left here of it, so that's what we got kind of going on here. There's some things I wanted to update or understand or get a better perception on, and that's always been kind of an important part of what I do. I've kind of formalized it more or less at one time or another. Well, in this case, I'm actually looking at a book. So there's a book up here in front of me. You can kind of see in the other window there. And that's what I'm looking at. So in this case, if I'm making up my own stuff, it's a bit more of an involved process. But I just thought I would broadcast my little morning study project here. So I get up in the morning, spend about an hour on this before getting into the other things I got to do for the day. It's part two is like when I'm talking to my students about these artists and things like that, I want to have a better clarity on them, and I found reading their material but also copying it helps me kind of give a better perspective on things, because I've gone through and actually tried to understand who they are. So oh yeah, gold and silver, huh? Yeah, I usually I like some colored inks, but I haven't tried out really metal ones, so that sounds interesting. Yeah, so it's an interesting kind of for me at least, it's an interesting process. It's something I recommend to my students. Like you buy an art book or something, definitely take advantage of it. You spend all this money on it. Take a look at it, copy stuff. You don't have to do the whole book necessarily, which is what I'm doing here. I've got just a few pages left. I probably would stop, or advise someone to stop at this point, just because I've gotten, I think, pretty much everything I can. But I think I'd look at the book and be annoyed if I hadn't finished. So, but I think once I'm done with this in the next few days, hopefully by the weekend. So I'm trying not to be as much of a hurry. I was spending actually more time on this in the morning. I decided I need to only spend an hour so I can get more stuff done. But oh yeah, Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo. I've met Julie Bell a couple times. I know their son. I know. Well, I know Boris's son pretty well. Dorian Vallejo. Um, but I need to hit him back. He sent me some stuff I need to look at, and I need to look at it. I haven't had any time to do that. Yeah, Pinterest has become a big problem though lately, right? Like anything new you want to look at, chances are it's probably AI generated slop. And I can imagine Julie Bell and Boris have had their stuff kind of pumped into those systems. But yeah, so I have some decent boards, I guess. I was thinking of them as folders, but I have some decent boards there, and I'm really careful as to what I kind of add in. So I haven't added in as much lately, but yeah, definitely holding on to those older treasured ones. Seems like there's a lot more ads on there too than there used to be, which is kind of annoying. It's like I'm not clicking on your ads. Don't put them in front of me. You're just wasting their ad dollars by shoving that in front of me. Well, I hope so. That's one of the problems is we're dealing with is like it's hard to kind of see what works and what doesn't, and I think it definitely represents a problem because yeah, liquid metal Pokemon, huh? Yeah, I kind of aged out of Pokemon just before it came out. So I think my youngest brother, he liked it a lot, but it wasn't really a thing when I was growing up. Played it once with my brother and beat him, but he was like 12 or something. I teach concept drawing, and at Virginia Commonwealth University, mostly I'm hired as a concept art professor, but I've taught all kinds of things over the years. So, um, but that's currently what I'm focused on. I have a good background professionally as a concept artist, and so I look at the what's going on with the AI stuff, and it's like a real problem for kind of human imagination, and but so that's one of the things I'm dealing with right now. But what's interesting is most of my students, like almost universally, they want nothing to do with it, and like it's not what they're in school to learn, and they're annoyed because there's some professors that want to push it into the program more, and it's sort of fun. There's a bunch of stuff that actually was coming out right now about it. To a certain degree, this is kind of like concept drawing. This is a study of somebody else's concepts, but it's kind of like where you invent creatures and vehicles and characters and locations, and as part of a larger story, you decide kind of what they look like and how they function. That's kind of the difference between concept art and, say, visual development. Visual development's more concerned with how things look, while concept art is more concerned with how things function. And so yeah, so there's perspective and drawing and design and story, and that's kind of what that class is about. And then also working with the seniors, kind of in their portfolio class, talking about business and kind of prepping them with portfolio materials and a bunch of other things to kind of help them get that kind of rolling. Alright, let's grab the other nib I got here. So I got a crazy long weekend in front of me because I only teach Monday and Wednesday. I have a meeting on Friday I need to go to, or should go to. I can go to. I think it would be helpful for me to be there. But yeah, we don't have classes on Monday due to the Martin Luther King Day. It's also my brother's birthday, my youngest brother. But it's about curriculum and kind of the direction we want to see the program take. And so something that I'm kind of generally invested in is kind of changing some of the things to help kind of focus certain parts of the education a little bit better. So Huh. You were supposed to go to your ACCA class, but didn't because you was up at 5 a.m. waiting for the Switch 2 announcement. Oh. Have I taught anyone famous? I have some artists that I've taught that are like, they have pieces in museums. I have one who just did a course with Proco. So if you're, Proco.com, to do a bunch of like online courses there. I have a former student who did that. A lot of my students, they kind of go into concept art and animation, so usually they're not kind of individually known for the most part. But if you look at like Mary Sauer, Sauer, like she's a professional painter, or Josh Black, he's the one that did that course recently. But because the kinds of jobs most of my students have gone into, most of them aren't, very visible. But those are two that kind of stick out in my head if I were, to talk about anybody. Like one of them, he was at Bungie when they just had those layoffs, and they moved one of the incubation projects, which is nicknamed Gummy Bears, to Sony, and he's been the art director of that for a while. So I don't know if those count as famous, but those are people doing some notable things out there. So that's kind of what's going on. Well, I think, well, I only know that he's working. I don't know anything about the actual project other than what's been publicly released. I haven't asked him about it, but definitely don't demand anybody release any NDAs or anything. But but he's, it's kind of fun being able to say, hey, I know I worked with this person or that person doing this thing or that thing. So, yeah, well, I'm drawing from, what's it called? Terryl Whitlatch's Science of Creature Design, which is a book she wrote. She's a popular, well-known creature designer, and she has a series of books that are out there, and has but I started they're mostly about creature design. She deals a lot with anatomy. She has a background in kind of animal biology and anatomy and things like that, and so she's worked in film for a long time designing creatures. I think her, I've mentioned here before, probably her most famous design is Jar Jar Binks from the Star Wars prequels. So she designed a lot of the creatures for those films. But so if you look in the art of books, you'll see a bunch of her stuff in there. Anyway, she has a series of books on creature design. I have 2 of them. I need to pick up the 3rd one just so I have all of them. Feels weird to not, to have one missing. But but I wanted to start taking advantage of these books I have by sketching from them, because I've done copy work, like I said before, at museums and things like that. So this is a kind of a version of that where you do copies of things. So like I read her text, see what she has to say. She doesn't have a huge amount of text in here. It's mostly visual information, which is especially where copy work is really helpful. So so that's kind of what's going on here. So I'm just kind of sketching from this as a way to kind of warm up for the day. So I spent about an hour on these, and yeah, she designed him. Yeah. Well, she didn't, design his voice or his character necessarily. She designed what he looked like. So she designed the Gundams. or Gun-Guns, however you say their name properly. Oh, there's the dog over there. Oh, that was a stretch. I was just checking on my dog, see where he was at, and he was pulling a super tight stretch. So yeah, I've been, this is the book here, so I've been kind of sketching out the whole book. So I'm kind of coming to the end, and I'm almost finished with this sketchbook, actually. I've just got a few pages left in it. It's like there's a blank page right there. I move this over so we get that corner. Yeah, I got the James Gurney books. I have one of the Hampton books, I think. I think I have a Patrick J. Jones book. The fantasy painting one or something like that. Yeah, oil painting masterclass on fantasy stuff, right? It's right behind me. So we got a blank page, and I've got about 5 more minutes, so I think I'll do one more drawing, because there's kind of one that's in the row up here that's I haven't gotten to, is the push-up one. Well, you know, it's not too expensive to get a new one, right? Just means it's been well used, right? That's the whole thing. Yeah, we should finish this page off tomorrow. Oh yeah, that happens, right? I had these Muji coffee mugs. They're small, and broke. I had 2 of them, then I broke one. So I was kind of upset by. I cried. It was hard. It was years before I could function again, but made it through, and here I am today. I think I bought them I bought them in New York, I think, but there's only, last time I checked, there's only a couple of Mujis in the United States. So I just couldn't look at it anymore. I had to walk away. They're like they're small, simple, kind of white mugs, and so I just kind of like that aesthetic. I had these glass ones too that I liked for tea, that were transparent, and but I think they're all gone now, I think. But Muji, M-U-J-I. Muji's they're kind of like a Japanese IKEA, I guess. Last time I checked, they only had a couple stores in the United States. They're all over Asia. It's a Japanese company. There's like clothing and furniture and kitchen goods and They're known for like their stationery. Like students really like the stationery. Like somewhere around here, I've got this like super tiny pencil that holds like one. Well, thanks for the follow there, son. But holds like one, thin piece of lead in it. Oh yeah, I haven't looked at their stuff in a long time. I'm thinking about doing like an extended New York trip during spring break. See if I can't, dump my dog with my sister for the week, and Huh. Yeah, I've got a few different things. I found a brand of pencil lead from, I forget the company, but it says it's like low smudge. So I'm kind of curious to kind of get going with that. Oops, just a little spatter there. Hit the wrong way with the pen nib. You can do the wrong way if you're holding it kind of up in the air, or holding the paper up in the air, which actually makes it easier to do certain kinds of strokes. But if you on a firm surface and you go the wrong way with it, it can be a problem. Alright, but I think we're done for it. It's been 1 hour. I haven't used it. I've thought about buying one, and then they're like $30. I'm familiar with jet pens, right? Hello, Peru. Thank you very much. Hola. So I know, like, it's supposed to be nice to use. I've got a bunch of different nibs here, though. Like, I've been playing around with that calligraphy one. I've got some other ones. I've got some Japanese mapping pens. I was trying to see maybe if that Muji pencil was over here, but I think I stuck it somewhere else. But I thought about picking up one. They look kind of fun to use. I just haven't tried them. I like to try out different things. A lot of times people, let's see, today is what is today's date? Today's the 16th. So mark that there. But I've seen them on jet pens. I've thought about ordering one. Maybe I should just do it just for fun. But I have looked at them, and it does look kind of interesting. There's a lot of different things. Actually, I did pick up. Where is it? The metal one. Where did I put that at? Because that was expensive too. It's probably down in here somewhere in my desk drawer. Not you, not you, not you. It'll be around here somewhere. Where did I put that pen nib at? Oh, here's the Muji pencil I was talking about. So this is the Muji pencil. Super tiny. I got some cats up there. Look at that. How do you like that? So it fits like in a wallet or something. Where is that pen nib? I haven't thought about it in a while. I was like, oh yeah, I have this other pen nib, and I actually liked it, mostly. But I'm not seeing it here on my desk. I'll have to see if I can figure out where I put it, because it's not in this kit here. It's not up there, it's not there, and it's not hanging out with those guys. And I don't see it in here. Is it down here? I have a lot of random stuff, and so you never know where something's hiding. I should bring that thing back out. I got an airbrush too. I haven't used it yet. I've never used one. It wasn't anything that was part of my education. So when I was in school, they were kind of transitioning. It's kind of the moment where digital was becoming important. And I'm kind of bothered. I don't know where this is at. Pencil lead, more ink, and some Velcro, some glue. I've got so many art supplies I need to go through. I really should just stop buying art supplies, but you know how it is, right? I wonder what happened to that pen tip, because it wasn't cheap either. It's got to be around here somewhere, though. Not you. Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. It's not over there. Where did I put it? Not there. Just seems like I would have stuck it in one of these places, but I don't see it on my desk, so that's kind of annoying. Yeah, that's what I have actually I bought one like a year ago. It's still in the box. So I kind of thought I was going to be done with certain things by a certain point, and then I wasn't. It's like I have these, I've used these a little bit, but these are water-soluble graphite sticks. So those are kind of fun to play with. It's not over there. I guess, well, I probably should stop anyway. I've got things I need to do, but I got to dig up that pen nib. So I got a big giant drafting table that I'm working on. It's actually at an angle. That's not flat. It's kind of up in the air a little bit, or quite a bit. That really bothers me that I don't know where this pen nib is. I just haven't thought about it for a while. I'll have to go look around. I think there's other places I can look. Just thought it would be over here with this stuff. Unless I, took it out of its thing and stuck it somewhere. Because I've got a bunch of nib holders, so I don't know why I would do that, but that is also possible. Oops, stay up there, you. Could be in here. No, it's not in there. Guys. Alright, I'm going to stop. But yeah, but thanks for everybody who came in. I appreciate it. I'm going to just be back probably in the morning for sure. Maybe tonight. We'll see what's going on. Working on some other stuff. I've been doing a bunch of stuff with grease pencil lately. Figured out some other things. So I'm working in Blender. And we'll talk to everybody later. So you don't have to listen to me shuffle through my drawers, right?